She's had one of the most decorated careers in basketball, and today we get to officially call her a Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Famer. Tamika Catchings, congratulations. What an honor and a deserved one. The greatness of your career, it spans decades. So what's the first thing that went through your mind when you got that call?
Well, I have to be honest, Pat. I was driving and I just had to get out. I did not get out of my car at all, but I was driving and my heart started beating as soon as I, got the call. But really excited, obviously in a time like this, and you get a chance to be at home and spend time with your family and loved ones. And basketball has dominated so much of our lives. But in this moment today, really being thankful and humbled and honored and blessed. So many words go through my mind just at how grateful and excited I am about this opportunity. A lot of work.
You just recently got the call, but what's it been like to share this moment with family and those who are closest to you?
It's been amazing sharing this with my family. And, everybody is just so excited, ecstatic just about the news. And, it's funny because you don't really think about the impact of what the Naismith Hall of Fame, like what that is and what it means. And I think even for me, when I got the call in December about being a potential finalist, and then of course at the All-Star game, being able to stand on the stage and sit with so many amazing people, you don't think about it. But sharing with my family and my nephews, just everybody's so excited. And for the young one, for them to understand what that means, I think it's just really cool.
One person who's beaming right now is Pat Summitt and everything that she has meant to you. It just has to give you even more pride when you think about your guys' relationship and ultimately this significant accomplishment.
Yeah, it's been a blessing. And, Pat, I'm just so fortunate to have the opportunity to go to the University of Tennessee. She was somebody that I looked up to since 8th grade and wanted to be, under her realms at University of Tennessee and play not just for her, but play with some amazing players. And so to have that opportunity to go through the process, make it to the WNBA, I've had some phenomenal coaches on this level as well. USA team, I mean, all of it. I think for me, when I take a step back and, just all the things that I learned from playing at University of Tennessee and from being a part of basically Pat's legacy, I've tried to emulate so much of her on and off the court. But the way that I work and, the work ethic that she put into me, instilled into me in my collegiate years, and then especially just like off the court, being able to watch her and the way that she always carried herself at such a high level. All the character qualities that you think about with Pat Summitt, I've tried to emulate.
When you think about your career and really your life as a whole, it's amazing the obstacles you've overcome. A hearing impairment as a child, you joined the WNBA with a torn ACL. In a moment like this, are you able to think back to some of those challenges you've overcome and maybe be grateful for them and they've helped shape the woman and the player that you are and were?
I would definitely say yes. And if you would have told me at 3 years old when my mom and dad found out that I was born with a hearing disability, if you would have told me even fast forwarding every single year leading up to college and even beyond to the WNBA, that I would one day be sitting here as a Hall of Famer, I'd probably be like, oh, come on, you know better than that. And honestly, not because I wouldn't have wanted to. I think it's because I really never, it was almost one of those untouchables. One of those things that you don't really talk about is just kind of like, oh, like this group over here and then everybody else. And, to be able to have so many people, and I mean, when I walk into the Hall of Fame and have this opportunity, it's really because of all my teammates. It's because of all my teammates and coaches and teachers and families and friends and, fans that have continued to support me over the years and have continued to be alongside of me for so long. I mean, that is why I'm standing here, and that's why, or sitting here rather, and that's why, like this honor is not just for me, it's an honor for all of us and all the people that have helped to push and guide me to this level.
You and those teammates helped bring a championship to Indianapolis. When you go back and think about those times, specifically that year, what stands out?
Woo, what stands out? David and Goliath is what stands out to me the most. Obviously my faith is a big part of me, but I really think about looking at that year and all of the challenges that we had throughout the season. But then when you get to the end and really I always talk to young kids about, the seasons and college seasons, and for the W, I mean, we're split up before the break, after the break, and then the playoffs, right? When you get to the playoff, once you get in, you go back to a 0-0 record. And we were the underdogs in every single series that we played in. But the more momentum we gained, the more, I think, confidence and belief that we had, obviously the better that we got. But I think ultimately we were the better team. And, when you look at, we lost Katie Douglas in the Connecticut series, lost Jeanette Poland game 2 in the Minnesota series, came back home, and it was just kind of like, all right, without both of your shooters, how do you overcome this mountain? And, I think that it says a lot, not just about from the basketball side. And, I look at that, and now having this opportunity to talk about it, we defeated a team that when you look at them on paper, there's no way that our team should have defeated. But the way that we believe, the confidence that we had, and then I think even beyond that, we went in, it was like, look, we have nothing to lose. So let's just put everything on the line. We walk away knowing that we put all, like, our heart and soul out there, and we walked out as the champion. But I think, like a story like that and just what we went through, it kind of relates to what we're going through now. You look at all of us at home and, a situation, a David and Goliath situation, right? You look at that, but, how we're able to overcome it as a nation, we're going to lose some great people. But as a nation, I know that we'll be able to come together and we'll be okay.
I'm not sure there's ever been a player who is quite as well-rounded as you were. It wasn't, of course, just scoring. It was assists, rebounding, the best defensive player in the league during your time there. What is it about, I guess, your mindset that made you want to be great at all of these different areas and not just be a scorer, for example?
Well, I think the biggest thing is one of my role models, Alonzo Mourning. My father was my first one, and my Alonzo Mourning was the second one. And I just remember as a player, young player, watching him, and I was like, man, every single thing that his team needs, he can do. And of course, it was the Jordan era, and then of course, you get to Kobe and LeBron and all the guys now. But I think for me, it really was, how can I be a player that whatever my teammates need, I can give them. From a leadership standpoint, I can say I didn't have the confidence as a leader as far as a vocal leader, but I knew that I could get in the gym, and I knew I could work, and that I could outwork anybody. And if my teammates would just follow me in that aspect, that was one area. Rebounding, defense, shooting, whatever my teammates needed, I felt like I could do it. And that was something that I really worked early on. Defense, I can admit, defense really didn't become my thing until I got to University of Tennessee. I had a choice to either play or sit on the bench.
You had, Tamika, so many loyal fans every stage of the way, but of course, here with the Indiana Fever, and there are a lot of excited people, I think, here learning this news. What's your message to all of those people, those fans that supported you from day one and continue to support you in what you do now with the Fever?
Well, I think the biggest thing is thank you. Thank you for your countless hours, your countless support, and watching not just myself, but my teammates and myself. Just watching us and cheering us on through the highs and the lows. Because I can tell you, early on when I got to the Fever, we weren't really that good. But, we had the fan support. We had people that believed in us and people that wanted to see us do better and be better. And they knew that we would. And so every year we continue to build on that. And so I really tell our fans and, all the people that have supported me along the way, just thank you guys for your love, for your support, and for believing in me sometimes when I didn't believe in myself.
You're going to be sharing that stage in a Hall of Fame class with Kobe Bryant, who a childhood friend of yours and somebody that you were really close with. Have you had the chance to think about how powerful that moment is probably going to be in the range of emotions that day is going to bring?
I've sat back and I have thought about it. It's unbelievable because even thinking back to the announcement in Chicago earlier this year, that was something, Cheryl Fuchs and I were sitting in the back room and, looking at all the guys that were walking in there. And the one thing that the comment she made was, man, it's so real because we'll never get to see Kobe walk through those doors. We'll never get to see him put on that orange jacket. We'll never get to hear his speech. We won't get to do any of that. And, I think for me personally, it's just it's so much more than just basketball. I think the basketball part is obviously what what gets you into this and gets you the notion to be a Hall of Famer. But I think it's really like the type of person that he became off the court. And, you know, the father that he was becoming, and I shouldn't say becoming, but the father that we were able to start seeing beyond basketball and his family and the girls. And, you know, I think that's the heartbreaking thing about it. But, you know, I know he's smiling down on us. And I know, like, up there, he's probably him and Gigi are on the court, and you know, they're doing something together. So I think that's what gives you a smile, what gives you peace. And yeah, you know, it's not going to make it easier actually going through the night and being there, but I definitely know he'll be watching and he'll be smiling down on us.
Sometimes when you're a player and you're going through season after season, it can be a little bit hard to just appreciate all of the greatness that you've achieved. Since you've had a chance as a few years moving into this front office role, are you able to look back at your playing days with a different sense of appreciation, and especially on a day like this, to appreciate everything that you're able to accomplish?
I think my life has been going so fast, but you know, I think having this time right now to really go back and now that I know I made it, you know, I think even more so I'll look at it and I'll go back. But I think, you know, because I've still been a part of the FIBA organization and still been a part of everything that's going on, sometimes I look back and, you know, you'll get some of the younger players that come in and are just like, oh my God, I was watching you at 2 years old. I'm like, oh man, am I that old? Yep, I am officially that old. But it's a blessing. You know, it's a blessing to be able to do something. I had a goal at 7th grade, when I was in 7th grade, that I wanted to be a professional basketball player. And never in my wildest dream did I imagine being a Hall of Famer. But I think it's really cool. Like that HOF, I think that's really cool.
Tamika, these are trying times for everybody. I would love to be in the room talking with you right now. But for those who maybe haven't gotten the chance to see you in a few weeks, how are you doing?
Doing good. Doing really good. You know, a lot of meetings, a lot of phone calls, getting ready for the draft. We got our WNBA draft coming up on April 17th. So prepping hard over here for that, and, you know, excited about when we'll be able to get back on the court and get our players together. So I think physically I get out just about every day, even when it's cold outside. I put a little hoodie on and get on my bike and just ride, because those are the moments that I need. But practicing social distancing, washing my hands, doing all the things that, you know, our governor and mayor here in Indiana have been advising. And, you know, I'm definitely hoping for the best. I know I'm praying for the best, but I know one thing, and this is one thing I know, is that when we come out of it, we will be better, not just as a nation, but globally. And so that's what gives you hope.
Well, it's great to hear you're doing well. At Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Famer, that's something that'll be associated with you and your name for the rest of your life. Tamika, congratulations.
Thank you, Pat. I appreciate it.